Hey everybody, thanks for joining tonight for a very special Sketch Karting Live. Sorry about the stream, had a little trouble with my restream, not working with Facebook and YouTube, but hey, we're just going to go YouTube because I like being there anyway. So thanks for hanging out, Bobby, Jack O'Lantern, seeing out here, and Patrick. Hey, good to see you out there. Let's get a few things sorted here. Got some neat things to show you tonight, and we're going to do a quick sketch of Stuck Chuck. If we have time, we might resume that Duncan Pumpkin sketch I worked on earlier a couple days ago. Let me just do the background on that one, but let's see here. How about now? There we go. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'll start over with it. Just totally, everything's broken tonight. Thanks, Jack Leonard, for letting me know that. So anyway, as I was saying to myself earlier with no audio, OBS is fun, so I've had to reset all my settings tonight before I started. So I apologize for that. But all right, sounding good. Awesome, good. All right, guys. Yeah, I have no production team tonight, so what I was saying was I had ordered some sketch cards for myself, my own personal branding on it, about a week and a half ago, roughly. I think it's been maybe just a week. I kind of lost track of it. But I've ordered from a few different companies, same kind of design, kind of get a few samples back and see which one I like best and kind of go with that. And so this is kind of like the Generation 1 test sketch I've got coming in. I bought, this is a 25 pack of samples of my own design to work with, any kind of brand. It could be GPK, Wacky Packages, Marvel, DC, whatever. It's a generic sort of sketch card for me, my own branding. And I ordered 25, and they came in today. I was very happy. Came in midday, so I could look at them. I'm going to share them with you tonight. So here's the grand reveal. No one's seen them. So the fronts are simplistically my name, Kip for Sketch, and it's sort of my own signature, the way I usually sign cards, roughly. And white balance kicked in there too. So there's the front, very basic. The front is, I took some advice from Bobby B. Thank you, Bobby. Bobby recommended not to do the lines. I do like the borders on cards. You know, when you get a regular sketch card, you get these borders around them. And I love these sketch cards. I've actually ordered from the same company that makes these. These are high quality, but you see these borders and things. The thing is, you have to get rid of the borders sometimes. You have to erase them, paint over them. So, Bobby, I listened to your frustrations about some of the ones you've seen out there. So, but anyway, this is just a quick design. I threw it down with my most hated pen, which is the the brush pen. I did one of these when I was doing the bright white sketch, the other stream for the watercolor. Before that, I was playing around with this, and I kind of tried to do a little sample and got it kind of where I want it, and then I digitally fixed up the rest of it and polished it up and sent it off. So I really like the front, and I'm going to do some more. I've got some more ideas coming back that's going to be very similar to this design. It's going to reuse this a lot. So that's what I'm going to be producing on. And the stock is very close to tops. Very close. Closer than, just about as close as these. Just about as close. So these are fantastic. These are very similar. So there's a glossy back on these. I got these as a sample pack. So remember I told you a moment ago, you know, I'd ordered just 25 of them just to try them out. Wasn't really sure if I'd like the design. I rushed the back of the card. So the back of the card I don't love, but the back of the card, it's also been miscut a little bit, but that's all right, misprinted. But I'm okay with it. It's just in this lighting you may not see, it's just a blue gradient with a website you can go to, which is not really fully functional yet. It needs to be updated. It just says the most basic thing. Official artist sketch card by me. And then you can sign down here and number, and the idea is to put some stickers back here too at one point, maybe some different things, social media stuff. But this is again, the prototype card. This is the prototype sketch card for me. I'm going to use these. I was going to give out, do 25 of them. Might sell a few, might make a few for gifts. I don't know. Yeah, the QR code. I'll tell you what I used to do, Bobby, with QR codes was when I was doing custom sketch cards before I worked with Tops in other companies just for fun, I would do them, and I would put a link to the making of the card, whether it be still pictures or a video or something. At the time, in a blog thing I had, where I would just put a unique QR code for the card I made, and I would have a backing I'd put on it. So the person who got that sketch card would get like basically a making of video or making of pictures and things like that of their card. Per card, I do a unique QR code for every one of them because it's free, right? Can't do that anymore, really. I guess I could do something, but that's just through the website. And I'm planning on putting social media stuff on here, but I got more involved with it. I thought I just need to get it out and get it done. So here they are. So I ordered 25, and tonight I'm going to make one for a fan who requested Stuck Chuck. And but there's one more thing about these sketch cards. I ordered 25, and I'm pretty happy with them. They turned out okay. The backs could be better, but they have that offset kind of thing on the back, and that reminds me of how badly some companies like Topps cut their cards. But in the future, I'll have that fixed. But for these, it's fine. Let's see. I'm sorry about this chat. I'm gonna have to move a window over. I can barely, like, it cuts off the last bit of your guys' chat. So if I can fix that. Well, if you can get the sticker, if I can get a sticker of that and leave. Yeah, yeah. I think that's the idea too, Bobby, is to do stickers and do a QR code link and then print the sticker and throw it. That'd be really cool to do it. See if it works out that way. I don't know, but so I got the 25 cards and I got them in the box. Opened them, and the box was kind of big. So I ordered 25 cards, and lo and behold, they sent me literally 300 cards for the price of 25 cards. So yeah, didn't need that many for a sample. I'm glad the sample turned out well. I do like them, and we're going to use them. But yeah, I have 300 cards roughly. I think it's just under 300, something like that. But all I can guess is the print run. It wasn't part of a batch. I mean, I thought maybe I'd be. Sometimes when you do prints like this, they'll do sort of a ride along. They'll call it, where you print. Your job will print with someone else's job, and they'll chop it up, and you'll use some of the media. But especially with trading cards. But apparently they must have ran a whole sheet of mine and just said, or they made a mistake or something. So anyway, I paid very little for these cards, and I got a whole lot of stock. So I'm going to be using these for a while. The only bad thing is I ordered a lot of cards from the other companies that I have used before for other things, not for my own stock, and I have a lot of those coming. So I did not plan to have a ton of these. So yeah. Math is tough. Yeah, math is hard. Yeah. Are all the backs offset? Yeah, they're pretty much all offset to some degree. So they're all like a little bit error cardy if you want. Now they see it's perfect. It's perfect 1980s quality right there. Um, the thing is when I did the preview, so this was handled pretty much automated wise, and I had a preview window to upload, the bleed and the cut lines and all that stuff were on there. This should have came out okay. And they told me, yeah, my hand's gonna be cramping for sure. That's right. They told me that it could be a 16th of an inch off during the print. And again, math is hard and measuring's hard too, right? So, you know, over here, even 16th of an inch, actually is more like an eighth, I think. This is way more than 16th of an inch, but I'm okay with that. I really, you know what? I'll be honest with you. When I first opened them and saw it, I was like, yeah, I kind of expected that. Yeah, that's fine. Didn't upset me a bit. So I'm happy with them. We'll go with them for now. Um, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it look pretty good? I mean, I can't tell you how happy I'm with this, the way it feels though. It's something that's a big deal. I always want to get that same feel that I work with the other cards. It feels just like an upper deck or a tops. Upper deck's still a little thinner sometimes through there, but yeah, I like it. Well, Bobby, you're exactly right. Who looks at the back that much once the front's done? I kind of thought of that too. That's why it wasn't a big deal to me. It usually would irk me, but honestly, yeah, because I'm picky. I'm really a perfectionist about certain things. But yeah, the art's on the front. So as long as the front's done nicely, and I mean, it's going to bleed through because these aren't coated. They're uncoated. There is a little bit of a matte finish to it, but there's a matte finish in the back, roughly, and this is uncoated entirely. This is technically the back of the card. This is the front, but when you get it made. But I told him reverse it because I wanted this unfinished side on the sketch. But you know, I think it'll be fine. So you're right. My hand will be cramping. You imagine I've done this many cards in 1 month before? That's crazy. I've done that many in a month before, actually. All right. Well, I tell you what, I want to get started sketching. So let's get into some drawing. Let's try these things out. We'll battle test them tonight. I have a few that were dinged up, by the way, and I got a little pile over here of them. That there's a few here you can't really tell, probably in this lighting, but there is a dent right there, a damaged one. So there's a few in the side of the box that were like all over the place and shipping or whatever. But maybe like a handful, maybe 4 of them were damaged. But I mean, quite honestly, when you get that many extras, what do you care? I could burn them for warmth now. Fun. But yeah, so very similar to these, like these, very similar to the style of this kind of card. Just the back's a little different model, but same point thickness and all that feels like. But this is totally a guess. Totally a guess if these would work when I word them. I did call them up and ask them about, you know, do you ever produce these for artists? Do you have anybody else who orders sketch cards like this? And lady didn't know anything at all. She had no idea and was very generic, but it was helpful enough. So I'm not going to say the company who they were because I am happy with them, and I'm really happy they sent me a ton extra cards. So, all right, let's start with that one. Complain, try to get the money back for the 25 you ordered. Yeah, you know what? There is a whole quality assurance thing with that. I could have the order redone if I don't like it's 100% satisfaction guaranteed kind of thing. So, um, we're not gonna do that. Pretty happy with what. Patrick, I'll give you a few of these you can try out on your own when I see you next time. You can just scratch my name off the back if you want. Scratch the web. Just destroy the whole back. Just destroy the whole back. At least get a good feel of them. Pretty neat. All right, get me off here and start to the sketching. Straight. There we go. All right. Adjust that camera a little bit. It's a little bit overexposed. Let me fix the camera real fast here. Well, I'll try to. I think there's all kinds of automated settings I usually turn off and turn down the brightness a little bit. that look. Yeah, a little better, more human. That looks a little bit better. I don't know. It'll if it doesn't look good, we'll just fix it in post. All right. So tonight we're gonna do a simple character. Pull up my little handy BK book here. Oh, those look bad too. The coloring, but anyway. Stuck Chuck. Stuck Chuck is for Chuck R on Facebook out there. He helped me get a whole bunch of likes and follows on the Art of Kipfer page in Facebook, and I appreciate it. And I told him I would get him a sketch card made because crazy about this character. He collects it. Well, crazy about one of these characters, I'm sure. Let's see. Original Series 3, right? Bobby, while I'm digging it out, what's the alternate name for Stuck Chuck? Bobby knows. Bobby knows. Let's see. Last chance, Bobby. What's the, what? Ah, you got it. Yep. Pendlin, that's right. Actually, I did know that one. Pendlin. So yeah. And typically when I draw this one at every set. Usually GPK said I do because he's quick and easy, I think. Pretty easy one. Yep, Pendlin's right. Yep. Because I usually just cut off the hand and draw this much of him in the card because I want you. He's drawing all this is kind of a pain, but you can do it. But I think I would do it probably in a four card panel puzzle, and I still might do one for him that way. I might do a few things here for Charles. Sorry, Chuck. But tonight I'm going to just draw this area up here. Just have a little fun with it. Shouldn't take too long. Get my book. Oh no, Duncan's flying on here. Got a mess here tonight. Gotta talk about this one. Yeah, that was turned out right. You know what? This looks so much different in person. I gotta get the colors adjusted on this cameras, but it looks a lot different in person. More natural, but do some background on that sucker. All right, let's see. Oh, and I did mention before that Inktober, my Inktober sort of spoof. I'd have those ready today, and I do. I think I'm going to release them on Wednesday, though. Guys, like 15 days early release on it. I want to just change up the list to look a little prettier at just like the graphics and the font and stuff. But the list is complete, and it is heavily inspired by the Inktober list. Inktober, which they do every October. Pretty sure the Inktober list is out. I'm not sure how public it is. I think it was posted once, but it is out for folks to just get a handle on what they might draw. Anyway, Inktober will be GPK based sort of Inktober. All right, so I got this big logo at the top, but it's not so much different than the GPK logo or anything else, so it's up there to deal with. Start here. This guy's got kind of like a melon head. This guy. Melon head or like one of those gumdrop kind of looking shapes. Not 100% like a GPK. Human cure. Hair thing. Sort of hair, not really hair. Version of hair. Rough it out real quick. Pick out kind of like where we want our nose. He's not make sure not to make his nose too large for the face here. Kind of get the eyes roughly where I want them, get the arches about even, you know. Okay. Pretty close to what I can work with. Get the mouth part kind of fixed. And I'll reshape the cheeks and the face here a little bit, probably afterward. I want it a little more roundish down here. We'll figure that out. And then I'll adapt the body to what I can do here. I've had some thoughts about changing up his pose where he's trying to pull the pins out or something. Tonight I won't do that. But get ambitious, I'll try that. Consider him a quick sketch usually when we do these card sets because he's realistic. I think the trick with him though is to get texture around the edge of the body since he's cloth and fabric. He kind of, you know, as a voodoo doll, you want to get a little bit of. I'm gonna do something a little different tonight with this, with the texturing around the edges. Give him a little unique feel. Fill down his eye side. His eyes can be a little smaller than that. I made a little bit big in there. Okay. Resize them there. All right. Coming together. All right. Shape this down because it kind of go. Little face. To do a sketch book cover of it. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Absolutely. I've wanted to do those in the past. I haven't really thought about it in years, but thank you for the suggestion. That's something I might even look at doing. I have a whole list of planned type of streams for the future, and I'll give you a preview while I'm working on this one. Just a discussion of some topics, but someone involve doing one that's a full blacklight drawing, like just with the blacklight engaged, and that's the only light on, and using blacklight colors. I think that would look pretty cool. And I played with that offline to see how that would work, and it looks pretty cool. I've got one plan that might comic covers planned as well, and I've got one plan that's sort of a green screen effect. I don't really want to say too much about it, but it's sort of a special effect that you can do while I'm drawing. So it kind of it's a regular drawing, but there's special effects going on as I'm doing it with the card. So I think it's kind of cool. So it's entertaining at least, you know. Anyway, I think it might be. We will soon see. But those are two I've got planned, and of course I have some guest artists scheduled. I want to schedule to get back on, and some new ones too. So always good. I'd love to have Bobby back on and Patrick on soon. So I think Bobby and I'd like to get Bobby on with a comic cover and sketch with him. Anyway, so general shape of this guy, I still might round that out a little bit more. Armor too, and unfortunately you can't fit the arms on here, but you just have to do this. And sometimes on these sketches, let's get it for. Sometimes with these sketches, I'll do cards on the sides and extend out the drawing, like do a drawing behind the drawing to go with it. I've done that on shaped cards. It's pretty fun. I like to establish where the X goes. And honestly, guys, I think this is one of these drawings for me that usually doesn't look good until you get some ink on it and draw, like, coloring it. Until you get to that stage, it feels like it's just all over the place. Let's see. Some beefy arms here. Bobby, I shipped you a package and I saw it was in Miami today, so you should be getting something. I don't know. It takes 2 weeks to get to you, I think. Hopefully, something's on the way. I need to send you some tracking for it, I think. So I'll do that. Remind me to chat to me with that. Get this arm kind of tapered down, or may come back down with that. I don't know. Amazing how many times I redraw the angles on these sometimes. Give him a little belly on this side. Okay. Okay. Drop into the name there. He's got no ears. This character has no ears, so that's always interesting to deal with. I want to round this down some. A bit chubby. Just feeling out how I want to do certain things. I don't know yet. I wanted this to tape swish this way and this one swish down this way maybe a little bit. Less of an X, like I wanted to feel like fabric that was kind of looped in there. Like the X was sewn in there, which I think it was technically. His eyes. Tone him down a little bit. Still might make him a little bit wider. I want to be able to get enough coloring in the iris, but these are just guidelines for me. Just kind of feeling it out. You like a trip to Miami too? Oh, to go there? Well, you can go pick it up. I should have arranged you just to go down there and get it. That'd be fine. Bobby, you told me, I thought before you'd been down to Florida, right? Have you been? You haven't been to Miami though, have you? Maybe you have. I can't recall. I know you've been to Florida. Unless I'm misremembering some things. Did that hair a little bit, so this kind of like go where it's coming down on his head a little bit. I really want to share that. I don't really want to kind of rest of that. Okay. Now we got to put the key element in here. It's just the pins, right? So angle of the pins right's important. In here. And this one is, I like to do more of a nail when I'm putting them in them. I'll try doing the pins tonight. I do tend to put nail heads into them more and put a little edge on them, but I think pins. There. I don't have to go by 100% what's, on the original, but in the spirit of. And I don't think they're going to look good until you get the shading on them and all that stuff, but something should have. Spruce these arms up a little. Told you, I'll play with these arms 50 times before I'm done. Change. He's going to lose and gain weight while I'm doing this. Now, the hand would be grabbing him through here, but I want to keep that clear because I want to be able to use, I'm going to do a spray background. And the background is really fun on this character because he's got this lighter purple area around him, and then it's just dark. It's almost black around the far edge, actually. I think it is. But I like to stage it up with a few sprays of different colors of purple in the back so that it'll really pop. So I'm going to get closer to him than I normally would when I spray. And there'll be a little bit of overspray on him, but that's okay. It's part of the style I do. Still pretty good with a gun, so it won't get on it too bad. Let's see what. Yeah, you've been to Miami? That's right. Very nice. Next time we'll work it out, man. I'll get you. Greyhound bus to Miami. Your boat. Flying tickets are getting high. All right. Let's see. Do a few more of these. Actually, got a lot to do. This one is like a nail looking. See the back of it? Another one has face right here somewhere. Here. Well, Patrick, have you drawn this guy too for an Inktober, haven't you? We got an Inktober prompt this year because Patrick, you're doing the Inktober 52, aren't you? Where you do every week. You have a prompt every week to do. Pretty cool. Commend you for drawing every week or drawing every day. You almost right. You draw a lot. That hard to pull that off. On your Instagram, I remember you drawing one of these. Love this one, but we'll see. You got right here. This is gonna go across here, sort of. So we'll do some. want to do one sticking that over here. Going off the screen. Do sort of that around. Kind of like that. Always would be great to have one going through his eye or something, coming out of his mouth. Weird, you know. Do it right. Cool to, he's got a lot of. Do it. I'll have to. Oh yeah, you did one. Okay, Patrick said yeah, you did one last year, and you're almost caught up this year. Yep. Okay, it was last year. I remember. I just remember you doing one. It was pretty good. So I think he's a nice, easy character to do. It's not real complicated. But I think the shading has to be on. Like the shading has to be good on him to make him pop good. And Bobby, I'm pretty sure you've drawn him several times as well. I know I've drawn him with the hands and without the hands holding him, but um, that's just kind of my preferred. But he's honestly a quick sketch when you're doing sets. If you want to do just, this is mid 3/4 body kind of thing. But if you just want to do the head and then jab some needles in his head while you're doing it, it's a quick card to pull off. It looks okay. All right. So let me see. Any more? I think I want one over here too. Stab him. I've been here maybe. Let's just see what it looks like. Maybe like a short stab. Suffering. So like keeping the pins the same consistency, same width. Typically, yeah. What I do on these is I'll shade one side sometimes, or I'll do that, or I'll put silver paint on one side side here and do the top, or do grays. With it just depends how much time you have. Might give them a little more. Get that nose right. There we go. More classic stuff. Don't need to erase this, but I just want to erase it so you can kind of get a better view what I'm planning. Since I line like a comic book artist, I sort of always like to do pencil and then ink. You don't have to do it. You can always skip one if you want to, but I'm always planning out my lines a little bit. And sometimes because I don't use a different color pencil, some of these are guidelines. And, I tend to erase a lot of my work when I pencil. And I like to I like to erase this center here so I can get all those lines planned. One other reason too is to make sure the drawing is clean for me if I plan to come back to it later, or if I'm doing it when I'm tired at night. A lot of times I'm working on these when it's late at night, I'm tired, and you don't want to make a lining mistake. Wow. You draw maybe twice. Yeah, I can't remember times I put them on official cards. I mean, I've drawn them at least 3 or 4 times officially, but I don't think I've ever done a commission of him. This is pretty close. I've been planning to do one for Charles anyway. I know he collects character and has tons of them. He pulled one of my he pulled a Diaper Dan character I drew card from the 35th. We had one of my cards already. I do want to get like a we'll fix that up with some shading. And the eyes, let me just get a good look at them here. A little wider than the other one, but it's a sketch card, so not terrible. Terrible. Here I'm hoping this comes together too when I get the lines up there and do some color. Let me just take a quick look at the original. Might be helpful if I gap these a little bit more. There's a little more gap in them than this one, but we'll see. Okay, because it's not the original. Over here, it's too much. Time to line it. Let's line it up. Let's see. Get the multi-liner. So I'm going to go back to my trusty 0.25 Copic. Oh, Tattoo Lou. I think that was a bookworm. If it was black and white with the, was it black? And, oh, I'm sorry. It was grayscale sketch with some color background. It was from the bookworm set. But I probably did Tattoo Lou for the 35th as well. So if I'm mistaken, then sorry. But yeah, I did see one recently pulled Tattoo Lou from the bookworm set. The lady pulled it down in South Carolina. Really happy to see that. I'm glad she pulled that. Always love to see, people pull cards, and I love to see they like the card. That's I think I'm gonna leave it as a pen. I usually do make nails out of them, but I like that pen. One of my favorite one of the whole. Intrude onto that. One thing I haven't been doing too much of really is commissions. I don't think I've commissioned any of the bookworms cards. I haven't pursued to do any really. I need to put them out there. But I think while I was waiting on bookworms, I did a food fight card. That's the last one I did. That was on official stock. Been kind of busy. I might taper these a little bit when I do the coloring. So and these cards, they draw great. There's no problems. They feel just very similar to top stock. So plants here, and not that tops is like the greatest stock. It's just kind of what I'm used to. There are better things, but it has that tooth I like on it. Grabs the felt tip, like this is a felt tip style multi-liner. Bobby, I saw you got some recently. You got your cards with a smooth, like a smooth front, or like Bristol, like I guess like smooth Bristol is what I mean. Because that's the other stuff I've ordered is like a smoother front. Feels higher quality, really. It's raw feel to them. Yeah, I think some cards are over textured. I think these are just right, but some of them are highly textured cards tear up your pencils, and They're bumpy to draw on, but they're made for painting. I think that they're made for mixed media or paint in general. My favorite surface to probably draw on is smooth Bristol. Started there and I love it. Good stuff to draw on. Change the size and make it smaller in the back. Make it more of a pen. I'll do my logo. I asked my wife, did she like the logo? So I got approved. Sketched it. What do you think of that? She's like, oh, yeah, that'll work. That's it. Sure. Work. Try to hug that tighter, so pretty good arch. See how this one goes. Okay. Too bad. And eyebrows. Let's. Hmm. And just get the colored in. Well, not bad. We'll come in and do the brown in there because he's got kind of brown eyes. That's funny. Sometimes you do character enough, you know what color their eyes are basically, and there's only obviously a few colors, but sometimes I have to check. I'm like, oh, if some like a character don't do much or a new one or something. I rarely forget because I'm planning it out for a while, but if you do forget, you got to make sure they're right. I don't think I've ever messed that up, but there might be one where I change the eye color on. I don't know. Be a character out there, I've done that too. All right, so the mouth here. Let's go. Well, let's do the nose. Easy on the mouth. Okay. All right, not too difficult. Pretty basic stuff. Here we get the top of the head here. Simple character. Missed any lines when you go back over. I'll probably line it again, but here's the gist of what we're going to start with. Color it. And he's simple too and quick because he's a lot of just grays. He's got the rosy cheeks, but he's a lot of gray. I'm going to do a little bit of stippling. So stippling is where you just do little dots for texture, for doing texture and shading. Let me see if I can do like there's a little stippling like that instead of doing lines or blending. I'll do a little bit of that. You can also make it look kind of dirty, since he's kind of a dirty voodoo doll. First, let's get that carbon off there. The Michael Mutant from Inktober, huh? Now you had that one. Cool. do the edge of that. Part of the test of these cars too is how well did it erase the graphite, how well does it come off? That can be kind of a problem. I didn't have to do that with the pencil, but it's just such a habit. And make sure I grab the right one. There we go. Line's pretty fine right there. We'll come back over it. I'll probably add more line weight, obviously, to the shadow side of some of these to make them look a little more 3D. October. Yeah. Awesome. So Bobby, you did Michael Mutants. Yeah, Bobby did a lot of those cards last year. Got to do this prompts and I appreciate it. I think this year's list is even more friendly to GPK. I did leave some of the Inktober ones that made sense, some of them didn't, and the ones definitely have GPKs in mind when I'm doing them. Randomized. But doing the Inktober's are fun. The Inktober prompts. Love working with that ink. So using the Speedball ink. Little gray action here. Probably a gray C4. I'm gonna use cool grays because they're right here. Could use neutrals. Use whatever you want, really. Even toner grays. Here, one probably over here. Cool gray 3. I'm gonna start with a 2 and just kind of see how I feel about that. Certain areas. I definitely gotta go darker, but just play around. Marking some zones I want. Marker's also getting kind of weak. Got out of that. Not doing well at all. I have a spare one over here somewhere. Shouldn't need it, but here's a toner 2. It's going to look a little different. That might use that in a minute. Gray area here sort of connects in. Here. Look better when we blend it. Just a minute. Stippling I'm going to do is going to be with probably a multi-liner, like a dark gray multi-liner or a pencil. Try to move a little faster. Sometimes these go slow. Blend that out because the light's going to come down and hit him on these arms here. I'd probably go to the C4, so the cool 4 on that, cool gray 4, be around that. But I could even go to the 5 if I blend out enough and dilute the ink around the body enough. Or we can go even. Kind of see more what I'm working with. And even this marker is a little bit dry, so maybe we'll do a little bit more with it than I would normally do. Rest a little. Go a little bit darker. I think he's turned out okay. Let's try the 4. Let's try the C4 and see if we can get some higher contrast here. This thing, when you ink on them, they just change. They do sort of take the shape you want them to. Just get close to it. The C4 definitely is dark. Darken up a lot of these areas. Thin out the dark it is in some of these spots. There's some color in there for a minute. We're going to make it a lot darker, I think. Let's see. Whole thing. I like his expression. Kind of shadow coming from that one that I don't do. Whole lives the shadow. I might come back with darker color and play with that. Let's see. Let's go to a C1. See if we can blend this around a little bit and see what we're working with. It's coming along. It's coming along. We need to thin out some of those darker colors down here. Blend them around a little bit. I'm going to add some of it back because I like some of this stuff I got going on, but blend it a little bit. Arguably, you could do some warm grays instead if you want to do that with them. But cool gray, different stuff. Warm grays will give you a more brown look. There is a lot of other browns in there too with the hands that usually hold them and things, but you want them to look a little more dingy. The hair is arguably a darker, muted kind of looking orangey yellow color. So warm gray work with it too. I'll blend this out a little bit, get a little, a little color up in here. Then I'll come back over with that C3 or C4 and come back in and add some more. It does have rosy cheeks, so we'll put some of that in there. And here I might lighten up kind of the shadow from there. There's a shadow here, but go back in with the C3. Hey, Joe. Welcome. Welcome. This C3 is a little bit anemic tonight. Might just move it to the 4 again. Not really doing everything I want. A little drained. Let's see if I got another one over here. Should have another one. A neutral. Neutral's N3. Let's see what the N3 looks like. Pretty much lost in there. Just go to the 4. We'll go to the 4 and we'll blend it around again. Build back up that high contrast line there. Still want to blend this down over here a little bit. I just might lighten up something else. Bring in a white pencil and lighten a few areas to get it 100% the way I want it. We could go down to something even smaller than a C1. Here's a C00. And that's nearly a colorless blender, honestly. Almost. Colorless blender just has alcohol in it. I'll make that a little more uniform through there. much as you can pull the ink out, you want to sometimes push it back down a little bit. A little touch of it. Blend that around. Looking kind of way I want it. I want him to have that dirty edge. Get that nice blend effect on it. When you're using these kind of, get the blend. That's better. You can tell when you're using markers that have enough ink in them too. Like you can tell the others were, the ones that were dying on me were active. Taking me longer to work with and a lot more effort to get to the same result. It shouldn't take too much on a regular alcohol marker to get it sort of juiced up and energized. You should be able to move pretty quick. There we go. Work a lot better. Look, I got a neutral pack comes with a gray liner. Yeah, neutral's a good pack to get. Yeah, and they do. There is a like an introductory sort of sketch pack from Copic that has a 0.5 liner in, I believe. 0.3 or 0.5 or maybe both. I can't recall anymore. But good stuff. Neutrals are great. I mean, if I could only choose, probably take the neutrals and the cool grays. The warm grays are important as well. They have a good purpose to them. I do use them. I don't use them a lot on the stream, but I do use them quite. The ones I'd say you don't need is the I have one over here, the toner. Where's it at? Here it is, the toner. So they make a toner gray as well. Very similar to the neutral, but I think the neutrals it has a little more tan or brown in it than the neutral. It's still different than the warm too. So I just think I would skip these. If there's anything you want to skip in a Copic set, I think the toners are the ones to skip. They're probably close to like a French gray. The French grays are like a warm gray too, and sometimes they're interchangeable in different brands or sets. But the French grays are good for a substitute for a warm gray. If you don't have a warm gray, then it's probably French gray in that brand. But this one I find very useful. I have a T2 because it's Terminator 2, man. That's why I bought it. Truth. It's actually truthful. I bought it because it's T2. But and I've tried using it a little bit when I first got them, and to do without them. Nothing wrong with them. They're good markers, but if you want to save a few dollars on something, that's the one you don't have to have. At least in my opinion. Others may differ. May like it, but I don't know too many people who use the toner grays. Coming along. So for now, I'm going to leave that blending around the body alone for a minute. Might come back and add a little bit here or there. Or I lied. Okay, no more deception. Here we go. All right, let's take a look at these pens. Let's get these pens colored up a little bit. A few options here. Yeah, Patrick's right. It's the 0.5. You got that one. Yeah, I remember there used to be a set that came with a 0.3 at some point. There's one that does or something, but 0.5 is fine. It's good. It's a good multi-liner. Stuff I'm doing, I'm using like this 0.1 and like here's a 0.25, and I have a 2, I have a 2, I have a 3, and I can use them also. If this like burned up for some reason or lost, I could use a 3 or a 2. Again, I told you before in some of the streams, like I pull back on this one sometimes or press down harder, so I'm manipulating the tip of that. And I actually burn the tip up too, so it goes down to being a 2 sometimes, so I have to replace it. And I can tell when I do that. All right, let's play with these pens a little bit, right? We'll get a little color on the guy. It's just a black and white drawing so far. Been on here an hour and 15. Wow, flies, I'm telling you. Let's see. So the pens should be kind of dark grays. Could put a little touch of blue in there, I guess. See, find a blue I like. Something different. Let's use this blue. This is a cool blue. So this is a fluorescent blue. It doesn't have a great black light effect. This one doesn't. Never seen a black light blue marker that was worth anything. A little too dark, but something to play with there. Let's do a leading edge there. And let's get some dark marker. Let's not play around with it. Don't really want to do too much blending on the pens. It's not much real estate there. So let's see. Multi-liner too, if I really wanted to be difficult with it. Line it with the blue on the edge. Could do something like that. Okay. I think we'll do that this time. We'll just do that as a variant. I don't do that all the time. And look, even if I go too far on it, I can come back with a white pen or a white and come over and clean that up later on. I probably will clean that line up so it looks a little less fuzzy. So don't worry. Don't worry about making a mistake like that when you or going over or I think the trick to some of these is knowing how to get yourself out of a mistake. Stressing about. Kind of referencing the original a little bit. Inconsistent going on. Looks like that's all right though. Make it work. And the same thing with this, I probably can go back behind this with a darker multi-liner if I wanted to, or even a darker marker and just make that line more bold to give it more of a three-dimensional. And it will. Darken it up a little more time. Let's see. We want to do that one. To this side. That one I want to be careful. The tip of this thing isn't releasing a lot of ink, so I want to be careful. I don't color too much, so I'm going a little easy on that. I'll come back again with a darker one because it needs it. And in the back. Just right. All right, a darker marker, something a little healthier than a C4. Let's go to bump it up to a 6. 6 is not black, but it is far darker than a C4. That looks like it looks like in this part here. Intentionally just kind of colored the center of this to make it pop a little bit because I want the little white bits in the sides. For now, I'm still thinking about that. Change my mind, but now this is a very healthy marker. What I mean by that is it's flowing, ink's flowing way smoother at the tip of this thing because it's a little less used, so it's moving nicely. I can do a little more with it. And I could, the 4 was kind of dying on me. And so I can trust this marker a little bit more. Plus, I know it doesn't bleed out and drop ink. We talked about sometimes in the past these markers would drop ink really nasty on you. But also, I've got this other end off, and I find that does help for the it starts to swell up. You can move to the side and do that. But I do know this is a kind of a good marker. Watch it betray me tonight. It's making that pop a little bit. over here, this thin pin over here. See, I'm kind of raising off that, kind of brushing it. But I want to make sure I don't stay on too long because it'll more ink will dump out and erase that little light highlight line there. I go. This one's tiny, but good effect. Okay, so let's see what the bleed through is on the back. See, not too bad. I mean, I can see like a line or two a little bit, but it's very faint. Not bad on the blend. I mean, probably on the camera you can't tell. I can tell like there's like a little bit of a. I think maybe I'm just paranoid. I don't know. It's not bleeding through too bad, but I'm also not going too heavy on it. I did blend around here a little bit, but not too bad. Yeah, I think Bobby, you'd have to win the lottery to fill out the Copic section, man. Yeah, so you can see it too, really faintly right there. I feel like look at straight on off camera. Yeah, I can see a little bit of a line through here. Yeah, I can see that where I blended under his neck right here. But that's not bad. And I gotta be honest, I never care about that. Some people might, but I just don't. As long as the front looks okay, we're all right. Okay. So let's do that blue line thing we talked about a little bit more. A few of these I need to blend a little bit, just a touch. And I should blend them before I did this, but I'm trying to move a little faster tonight. The one reason I should have blended is because this multilayer may not blend well with. I'm probably going to re-add some lines. I can do that. Let's find us a white pen that can be trusted to do this. A minute. Let's see. C1. I don't like the C1. This C1 I don't trust because it's not dumping enough ink, so it's not going to blend very well. Let's go back to this C00. This thing's really nice. Not much. You don't need much on there to just smooth that out. It may not be doing a lot really on camera, but in theory, soften that little semicircle edge I've got. And then with one of these jelly roll pens. Okay, so I got a 5 here and I got a 10. 10's a little big, but see what it looks like. I'll show you here. That's a good way to check out what these are going to do. Is you can have a dark line there. Open. Spin it up. You always want to kind of spin these and see how they're flowing, because they do kind of get old and they don't flow well. So this one's almost brand new, by the way. Got this on a trip, so it's still, even though it's new, it kind of gunked up on the tip there. That's a little wide. I can use that. There's an 8 too, is what I was looking for. 8's a little large too for certain things. This might be all right. There's the 8, which almost looks identical to most eyes there. And here's the 5, smaller. Pretty small. For demonstration purposes, I'll try the 5 first. I think I'll want to use the 8, but I'll try the 5. And you know, these are different size pins, so maybe I can try the 5 on some and the 8 on others. That looks pretty good right there. Playing on that. So you see you can sort of go back and add that light back. Good. And don't worry about eating the line of your exterior, you know, the side line there. You can always come back and add it back. No big deal. Kind of like that. So we'll keep going with the 5. And you want to make sure you keep your hand away from that too. It takes a minute for it to set up, so you don't want to drag your hand across that gel. You're not working with marker anymore. You're working with gel ink. Yeah, kind of like that. Keep rolling with the 5 for now. I want to come down here later and try to add a tad bit more with a pen right there. Okay. Get in there and re-add a little opaque there. Okay. We can come back over it in a minute. You can layer this a little bit. Gel layers a little bit. Here we want it to go kind of this way. That again, let's use something a little thicker on that one just to get a little good demonstration here. Here's the 8. Use an 8 quite a lot. 8's kind of large for some of this stuff, especially this kind of application, but there we go. Just punch through that a little bit smoother though. I like that. Go over this again. Some of these that I wanted to go over again because they weren't dropping. Swirl it over here and kind of clean up the messy tip on that. Small one back. We're gonna need to connect that. There's a little line there missing, sort of. Carefully use the 8 on that. I like how it turned out. Good. If you go too far with it, if you want to dial back some, you can always. This stuff just you want it to let it dry so you don't get nasty, but you can scrape it off a little bit with the pen tip and add back in color. You don't want to really color over it too much. You can. It will take a little bit of ink over it. I wouldn't recommend blending over anything like that. That would really more of a finishing move. We'll stop with that for right now. Looks pretty good. Let's see. Let's look at the face a little bit. Want to add a little more gray in the face and kind of fix that up some. Spot or two. Yeah, the jelly pen, Joe, is one of your best friends. It's a great deal. These come in a pack too. You can buy them in packs or individually. However, you can buy them. I think they come in this pack actually right here. These 10, the 8, and the 5 all to come together in a pack. But they have different colors and I have all different kinds of colors of these things over there too for just fun projects. Um, but the white ones are my most valuable ones. Sure. Not the only white pen I use. I also use the Uniball Signo. This is a UM153. This model, it's pretty excellent. It's nearly like paint in ball pen form, ballpoint pen form. So it's pretty nice. I've reordered some more of these. They come in a 3-pack as well. They come with a pack of like a silver gold, which is not bad. The silver is very good. Last stream, though, you saw my silver was dying, and here it is. So I ordered another one of these. This one's got a few different ones that are silver for different like paints and I like this one for a quick little daub on buttons and little metallic pieces on sketch cards. This is an excellent pen. All right, so like I said, let's get back to the grays and work on this face a little bit. So here's a C1. Not loving the C2 tonight. Let's see if that C3 is, I can squeeze a little more ink out of that thing. There it is. So that over there, let's just want to get kind of a slightly brush effect. It's right there. And then under his mouth here, I need to darken this up a little. Again, you know, sometimes these markers aren't working out the way I want them to. If they're dying, you need something different. I do have the pencils to switch over to. I still might. I want to do a little extra. I might. I might do something. Even past this stream, we might continue it. I like that little brush effect there. Just on camera, but just a little bit of brush goes a long way. I do think I'm going to lighten that area up too. I don't like the way this has come down with the shadow. I think I'm going to lighten that up. And for the cheeks, I'm going to do a pink on that. We're going to use a pencil for that. I tell several people all the time there's so many ways to do the cheeks. It's always a big question. Like, what colors do you use for that? And you can use markers, you can use pencils. I'm going to use tonight, find the right pencil. Polychromos. Wrong one. Oh, here it is. There we go. So this right here. I use this Polychromos right here because he has very subtle cheeks, and I think that'll be fine. A little looks how it looks on camera, but something like that on his cheeks, and then I can blend around it with a white pencil and lighten it if I want to, and then go back over it and darken it if I don't like that. So use luminous white pencil. I'm going to lighten this area up over here a little bit. And really, kind of thing with this gray stuff and a white pencil is you can even blend this down a little bit. Blend it really sharp. You can even lightly go over this if you want to blend this out a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. See how we'll just clean that up really nicely. Right through here. If you can't tell in person, but it take any kind of grainy effect that's in there. And then also you can come around the edge. You can use those pins as well, but you can come around the edge with this thing and do a halo effect around the edge of the head here, which is normal for this character. Halo the edge there. I'll do the same one. His arms have the same effect. There's light coming from the bottom. I didn't spend a lot of time trying to preserve this line light, so add it back right there. Take a lot of effort. Pretty decent. Who's still awake out there in the chat? You still awake? Been on here a long time, I know. Oh, Bobby's awake. Bobby's an android. He doesn't sleep. I commend you all for joining a live stream that takes. And let's see. Much up here, white up here. Little few lines through here. Big. Might even lighten it with the white pen, but add a little bit. Lighten that. Just chilling. Bobby's online. Really think Bobby doesn't sleep. No, I can guarantee you Bobby doesn't sleep. Doesn't. Joe's online. Patrick's still up. Patrick, you're the one I worry about, man. Tired as I am, man. It was a long day. I was thinking today's Monday. I can't believe it. Feels like it's like a Thursday to me. All right, how's it looking, everybody? Decent? Passable? Passable. Okay, let's get some, let's do the cheat color. Why not? It's fun. It does. Now, I could use the pencil or I could use a marker. I could use either one. I want to use the pencil. Use the pencil. Set a little line there. Now, I can also do to make it look a little, pop a little more with his little cheeks here is a little white dot right in the middle. The gel pen. Yep, I can live with that. I can live with that. If I didn't like it, push the envelope a little bit. Let's see. Way too pink. Let's grab red 02. Let's do, this is the rose salmon. That, you can go ahead and test it around it right there if you want to preview what that would look like. If you wanted to play with it and you weren't happy with it, I'm good with it, but I'm going to just demonstrate. You could go around this marker if you wanted and add a little bit around there. Didn't like how it's turning out. It will go over it a little bit. These are polychromos pencils. These are pretty nice. They are, however, vegetable oil based. They're not wax based pencils. You have to be mindful of that. Well, they blend with the stuff. Reduce down that white. This one you can see. I'm going to show you can go over that jelly a little bit, just a touch. If you want to. I can live with that. All right, let's do some work with the eyes here. So reasonably even, and put some color in there and see how we like it. So he's got brown eyes. Pretty simple. Play around here with, here's a deep orange. So E97. Deep orange is essentially a lighter orangey brown like that. So I'm going to try to attempt to go with a lighter orange brown color here. And then I'm going to darken it side. Add a little more to it, a little pop to it. See if we can go darker. Doesn't have to be in the same color family, just needs to be a darker brown. Here's a E17 reddish brass. It's wrong end. Okay, so here's our other color, and here's this one. You can kind of blend them together and look what they will kind of look like. The lighter version, you can kind of see. Get a lot of real estate, you could blend it. You'd see kind of would blend together, or not so different. I'm going to blend to the right. I'm going to sort of mark them to the right. Probably won't blend these at all. And that gives the perception of the light coming in this way. Kind of nice. Just a little subtle tip. And you could have used a multi-liner, colored multi-liners that were dark enough. I'll never grab the right color when I'm on stream. But you could grab a multi-liner and just, this is a purple, but you could go in there and do the same kind of thing and it'd have the same effect. You just can't blend that around if you needed to. And honestly, I can't really blend that too much. And just because we're watching, I'll go one darker. I'll go to an 18, which is copper. Way darker, right? I'm going to go to the very, very tip of that and see if it makes any difference. It probably won't. Yeah, I can't. I want to be careful to get too dark because it will kind of merge with the pupil. Also, another use for the jelly pen. Let's put a little dot of light on there. So his eyes, we're going to dot on the same side the light's coming on. I'm going to use the 10 for that. I don't have to, but why not, right? Yeah, pops really nicely with the. All right, I gotta do some hair on this guy. So he's got kind of a yellow tannish looking hair color, kind of, really. Just gonna grab a couple things and look at him. So it's almost like this, and this is a yellow red 23. This is yellow ocarine. I probably could use this and be done. Honestly, let's just see what happens with. I'm gonna go kind of dark and try to. Didn't go on as dark as I thought it would. So that's kind of good. Lightly brushing it there. I thought it would go on a little dark. The bait, and I kind of wanted to leave a little bit of white tip up there, but I don't know. Decent. What's going to show up is when I'm going to try to color the inside of that little area in here, brownish, like a brownish color. And I could go back to using that E97. Let's take a look at what that would look like. Too dark? No, it's not too dark. Good color, really is. E97. Nice. And I'm going to go one, like a little darker somehow in there. Let's see what I can find. Something more muted, a muted color. Way too dark. Big. Let's. Maybe good to use a pencil on that. So this is called. This is again. This pencil I use the Urban Artist colored pencil, raw sienna. So I do not think it's necessary to go in there with this. Just gonna do a little bit though. Totally optional and unnecessary. Probably okay. All right. So be happy with the face. Everything's looking okay there. Maybe this is a little light. So let's grab something darker for the X on the chest, okay? So I'm going to move up to this cool gray 7. I don't want to use a black. Just try to avoid using black as much as possible. Unless it's something that really calls for it. Something that's close to it. Keeping that line on there. I don't know. Keep it or not. White line around the edge. Kind of like it. Like it might be some leather strap or something that's sewed in there or something. Get rid of it on the one edge. Yeah, just do that. Okay. Look at the lining a little bit on some of these, and then I think it's time to spray this sucker. Let's spray it with some different colors. and get it over with. The spray will be quick. One thing I learned a long time ago with one reason I do like using the airbrush is that it's fast, but it looks good too. Saves you a ton of time on backgrounds using an airbrush. But a lot of these classic characters had airbrush backgrounds, so it makes total sense. I'll go over and check these lines. It looks okay. Something. On the white side, I want to make strengthen because the white ink got on there. You know, be careful with that too because it can get kind of clog up your tip of your multi-liner and cause a tragedy there. So sure to just check it once in a while when you're operating around stuff like that. So this, take a quick look at. I think the tip got kind of mangled when I erased the. Slow on that one because it's a very fine line right there. Tear it up. Reline the. I tend to like to do that. Good heavy lines on things sometimes. There is a risk involved with it, and you can definitely make mistakes while you're doing it and have to undo stuff. Eat with caution. Where it's fuzzy like right there, you want to kind of get rid. I don't like there, but I did some of the line. I also went very light early on. I could go heavy line weight on the bottom, but some of the line for where I use the white pencil over that. The white pencil does hit your line and also makes it fuzzy. So careful with the wax again on your multi-liner. Okay. That. Holding up. Don't want the lines up there to get lost inside the logo or anything. Hoping it softens some of the lines inside there. The face. I'll just here. We need too much in there. All right, I think he's lined well enough, pops enough. So let's get him sprayed. So this is a different one. Usually I tape them down if there's a border or something around it, like a line border. So like I said earlier, when you have lines around them, I usually like tape the sides, or I wouldn't tape this, but on Topps card, you get the borders and stuff. So I tape the sides. You give a nice clean edge when I'm spraying, but For this one, we don't really have to do that. So it's nice. Thank you, Bobby. You taught me into it. Don't get the borders, man. All right. So let's get some purple out. Almost done, folks. Hang on. Let's see. So got a 5. Doesn't look too bad. Now they might spray a little differently than they look too when you that's a little dry. Let's see if they're on this end. Yeah, I'll probably use the 5 and skip this 4. I have multiple 2, 5, or 15. Let's see. Let's just see what we get. We really just need two shades of. Ooh, it's dark. That's going to be the very edge, and that is the 9. So let's see. We want to use the 5, I think, and I could do multiple layers of the 5 and kind of build it up. I have a 6, which is not really much different. It's different enough though. So here's the 6, the 5. You may not be able to tell that in this camera, but there is definitely a difference. And there's a 9. Oof, very dark. We'll start with the 5 and go from there and see what we can kind of do with that. As I'm spraying it, you can hold it with a variety of things. Sometimes I just hold it with another pencil, and just like this one, I'll probably hold it because it definitely will blow around if you don't tape it down or something like that. You also want to make sure you don't have any sort of, well, as little junk on the area you're spraying as possible. There's like a little bit of crap. Something right there. That's fine. All right, so let's get the air compressor on. Look at this sucker. On. Bobby's got to sleep. You know what to watch next. Cobra Kai is out. If you watch that, Cobra Kai season 5, check that out. If you're into that. If you're not, there's tons of other stuff to watch. Appreciate everyone tuning in. I know these can be kind of boring, but I know you're here because you're interested, so that's cool. So I always do a pre-spray to the side here, try to see what we're gonna get. This is very faint, and that's okay. I'm going to try to maintain a little bit of a white barrier between him and the spray because I just think it looks better. I'm just going to body fire around some of these other pursuing pins here. Edge out. Now, one bad thing is this marker feels like it's dying on me, so I can feel it. It's not spraying well, but as long as I can get where I want inside some of these zones, I'm all right. A little bit of speckle in there. I'm going to turn it. Careful turn it because this stuff here will go on the back of the car if that matters to you. It doesn't to me in this case. Okay. Coming together, and you'll see when we get the darker colors in there, it'll pop more. This thing. So also, if it's dying like that, you can kind of pop it and reseed it. Do some of that little pulse fire there. Give you a little bit more. Sell some sketch cards so I can buy some more markers. All right. So pretty faint, but I mean that's not terrible right there. It's not exactly what I do usually for my style, but I'm going to hit it with the 6 now. Hit it with that was the 5 or the 4. I'm sorry, that was the 4, and this is the VO6 lavender. That's spraying a lot better. You can kind of see that maybe, and the speckle effect is nice on that. And that's what I look for, is to get like that on the edge and get a little bit in there. And even if it hits the character a little bit, that's all right. So, and I tend to hold it too. I'm going to try not to do that, but if you, because you'll spray your hand. It'll go in your hand. You see that little effect there where you're getting like this darker and you got still the, you don't want to, definitely don't want to cover up all that previous spray, but just layer it a little bit. And then I'm going to get bold and fire right there. That's plenty. Plenty of that color right in there. You don't want to get too much. Spray to the outside. Just keep spraying to the outside around it so you make the inside pop. Spray this way if you want to over the logo. Sometimes with the GPKs or the wackies, you can color them in, or you can do a quick spray across them. I've done some of those in the past. Spray right over this one, so that works really well. Want to totally cover them, you just want to get a nice little spot in there, and I want like a little bit of a spray inside there. A few specks. Subtle. And don't worry about hitting any of the drawing here. If you want to go back and you want to add the white in, you use that gel pen and go right back over it, and you can light it back up. And I might not. Corner here, just a little spray, gentle. Spray a little bit on the card, a little bit off the card. Most of it's hitting off the card, really. That's just fine. There you go. Pretty decent. Probably leave it there. Take a look at the 9 just on the side. I'm not sure we're going to use the 9. We might use the 9 on just the corners of the card because it's really dark. Got that 9 over here, just freakishly dark. So I'm going to try it on the edges just a little bit. I typically don't do three colors when I spray, but sometimes. Just gonna hit the edges, just barely hit this card. Okay, and it will just make a whole, it'll make it look totally different. Want the edge of that, want the edge of this. Pressure right through here, it's a little light. Look at that, total different effect on that. That pops really nicely. So that is not terrible. So I think Charles will like that. Hope he does. Yeah, you like the X? Thanks. There you go. It's pretty cool. Only thing left to do is autograph it, right? Of course, I've already signed on the front. I'll tell you what the deal is with the logo of my autograph. I don't think I've ever told you about this. So if you ever look on the tops of these sites, you'll see that you can't ever make out whose autograph is what, right? Like my real autograph is, my real signature is illegible. You can't read it, but my autograph is last name, of course. And this part's you like, what is this? Explain to you. This is a second because I am a second, not a junior. I'm a second, so I do this as part of my last name, signify it's me in a way too. So that's kind of like a little insider thing. It doesn't matter, but that's why the logo has the I is like a Roman numeral too. So thought that'd be better than my real signature because you couldn't read it. All right, so sign the back. Kind of obvious, isn't it? This little thing down here. I don't know. Should we put 1 and 1 there? Should we put 22? I don't know. I hadn't really planned it. Just knew we should put a little circle there to signify something. What do you guys think? We put a 22 in there or 1 or I don't even care about putting the year on it. Doesn't really matter. Well, that's pretty much it. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you checking out my new sketch cards. I'm posting that one up, and that one's shipping out to Charles very soon, probably tomorrow. He'll like that. Goes in his unofficial collection. And fire up some officials. So thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be doing some more of these sketches. I'll post some other stuff up with them. I love them. They're really nice. Glad to finally have my own brand on it. I know, like Bobby, you know what I'm talking about. It's nice to have your own kind of branding on something to work with. Still going to use the other cards. Still enjoy them. Still going to play with those two, the other ones I have. But that's it for tonight, everybody. Thanks everybody for tuning in and checking out the stream. I'm not sure when I'm going to stream next. Maybe later in the week. I got some stuff coming up tomorrow and the next day, but probably maybe later in the week we'll do something. And then maybe Sunday, Joe and I can figure out something to bust and break open. We're going to break something. So, all right, everybody, you have a good week. Behave. And what is this? Cool. Hopefully down the road. Absolutely, you can get a kit for sketch. Not a problem. I'm going to post some more about how to order these and stuff. The website on the back I'm going to update very soon, and I'm going to put a place you can sort of order a sketch and collaborate with me to figure out what you might want on one. So, and also on Facebook, Art of Kipfer. I've got a page on there that I communicate with fans and other GPK uh, artists and everybody else on there. So I might be posting this up as well as the stream will be up there too. At any rate, everyone have a great week. Thank you again. Really appreciate one. Later.